Hey Aquarius, this is your look at May 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman and this is Empowering Astrology. There's a lot going on this month, by the way, and in particular, it's with your planet Saturn. It's also eclipse season. Can't like undersell the fact that it's eclipse season, which means that life is shifting and changing. But let's recap something on a larger scale. So, number one, Saturn. Saturn is what's called your ruling planet. Whatever Saturn is doing in the sky, in a way, reflects back on you. Since December 17th of 2020, Saturn has been in Aquarius. Hey, that's you. So you're in this time of life where it's about new chapters, new beginnings, new responsibilities. Saturn is the planet of responsibility and authority, and maybe you felt like as of the new year, like life got a next big step up. For some of you, that might be intimidating. For others, you're really feeling that this is a new time to sort of take initiative, take action, but also be the leader, be the boss, be the authority, so to speak. But Saturn can sometimes weigh heavily, and if you've been feeling life a little heavy since December, that's because Saturn just set a higher bar for you. The other thing to keep in mind is that all throughout 2021, Saturn is making something called a square to Uranus. Now, if Saturn is you, and Uranus is about reinvention. It's about revolution, shaking things up, getting out of old ruts and patterns. And since Uranus is down at the bottom of your chart, which is about home and family, maybe you've seen a lot of shakeups in your living situation, or there's been a big move, or maybe you're thinking about a big move or a psychic move. It doesn't have to be a physical move. It can be like you have to move yourself internally to a very different place. So this is a month and a year, but there's also a month where you're feeling the buildup again, that pressure to break from the past, that pressure to make changes, but you might feel like you're being pulled in two different directions, because what I'm telling everybody in 2021, and I'm especially telling you, Aquarius, that it's as if you have one foot in a new life and you have one foot in an old life. And how do you resolve that pull between these two different states? Because maybe a part of you really wants to hold on to that old life, but the new life is pulling you forward. Or maybe you're making a leap. Aquarius, you're a very visionary sign. Maybe you get it. Maybe you're trying to do what you can in order to create new systems and new futures to take you towards this new life. So when Saturn turns retrograde on May 23rd, I'm kind of jumping ahead in the story a little bit. That's the date that it's going to sort of pivot in relation to Uranus. You're going to feel maybe some turbulence, or I don't know, maybe you're going to feel a liberation, because everybody's different. But it is a check-in on this time in your life of taking responsibility, being accountable, doing the right thing, making serious decisions, starting a very new chapter in your life. And with the Uranus component, maybe this new chapter is a radical new chapter. So, like I said, I got ahead of myself. Let's go back to the beginning of May, because it's Taurus season, and Taurus season is about home and family. Maybe it's the natural time in your zodiac calendar to move, to make a change in your living situation, to focus on your parents or your inner circle, or growing your family. But like I said, Uranus has been there. It's been there for the past few years. It'll be there for the next few years. So your home environment is in the midst of a massive shift. Everybody's going to be experiencing this time differently. I've known a lot of Aquarian risings who have made big moves. They've moved New York to LA, or they've moved to other places, and they're not where they were in 2018. That Taurus new moon, there's going to be a Taurus new moon on May 11th. That's going to be like the personal reset time in your home environment. That said, we do start the month with both Mercury on May 3rd, followed by Venus on May 8th, going into Gemini. And for you, Aquarius, Gemini is your sign of creativity, self-expression. It's, you're an Aquarius, you have this reputation for sort of being very futuristic and getting the bigger picture and, connecting the dots. But Gemini also gives you this curiosity. I don't think people realize just how curious you are. So maybe you're really feeling this new time, but it is time to get back to you. It's time to be curious. It's time to communicate and chat and move and listen, and also play, also create. Like I said, we do have that Taurus new moon, but let's also not forget the other big thing happening this month. Jupiter leaves Aquarius, and it goes into Pisces on May 13th. So Pisces for you is the sign of money and income. So Jupiter, what does Jupiter do? Jupiter makes things bigger. So maybe, I don't know, and I don't want to overpromise Jupiter, because sometimes people hear like, oh, Jupiter is going to give me wealth and riches, and then you're like, Katie, you said I'm going to have, I'm like, no. Jupiter expands and inspires, it gives faith, and so maybe you're having an expansion of your income. Hooray. Or maybe you're having an expansion of your expenses. Not hooray. But maybe you're now being confident and you have the inspiration to make more money, to go after what you need in order to create material stability in this new chapter in your life. Do keep in mind that this is a preview, because Jupiter will go into Pisces on May 13th, and then it will retrograde back out on July 28th, and it's back in December 28th. And so it'll spend a lot of 2022, Jupiter will be in Pisces, between Pisces and Aries. But so if you're thinking, oh, I only get 3 months of Jupiter in my money sign, well, don't worry, it comes back at the end of the year. Anyway, so there's that. And then the bigger news of this month is that it's eclipse season. So just a recap, eclipse season happens every 6 months. It is something that you can bet on. What are you betting on? You're betting on things changing. And that's what eclipses do. It's as if they rearrange the story. They signal that it's time for one thing to end and another thing to begin. I often use this metaphor that eclipses are like watching a theatrical performance. The curtain comes down on one act and the curtain comes up on another act, and things have rearranged. The set is different. The characters are different. Maybe somebody has left the stage. Maybe new characters have come in. So for you, Sagittarius, it's where we're going to have this eclipse on May 26th. Sagittarius is your sign of friends and community. So really pay attention to what is happening with your friends, with your social circle, your community, like who's coming in, who's coming out. This eclipse is not the first in the series. You just have to go back to look at June of 2020, December of 2020 to kind of see a little bit of the unfolding plot. You are a very social oriented sign. I mean, I know Aquarius can kind of go both ways, meaning either you're really into social causes, social justice, humanity, collective, community, or you feel very removed or very distant. But for some of you, this might be a time that you're really getting involved in your community. You're really getting involved in a social cause or a social project or even social justice, because Sagittarius is a sign that is about law and fairness and equity. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you are the other version of the Aquarius where you're like, friends, who are my friends? It's a time for you to bring in new community. And I think with Jupiter having changed signs, that's the thing that's different than these other eclipses. Jupiter is really strong in Pisces. How do you find friendship of value, people that share your common value, and people that are going to really anchor you in this life. So we have a lot of things going on this month. Maybe you're making some big changes, Aquarius, and then we get to the end of the month and Mercury turns retrograde on May 30th. So if you're making big decisions, just do your due diligence. Maybe hold off. If it's like a really, really big decision and there's money at stake, maybe just wait until June. Or if something has to go through, just make sure you have some backup plans, just reread everything. I think with Mercury turning retrograde square Neptune, it's possible that we just do not have a lot of clear information as we go into June, and that we need to make sure that people are being real and correct with us. So anyway, more on that as we go into June's horoscopes. But until then, my name is Katie Sweetman. I'm an astrologer and psychic medium here in Brooklyn, New York. And you can follow me online at empoweringastrology.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and subscribe to this YouTube channel or even book a consultation with me. So until next month, take care, be well. Bye.